Welcome to the Daily Threat. Today is Saturday, March 11th, 2023, and I'm your host, Maya. Today's first story is: international law enforcement has successfully taken down an international cybercrime syndicate responsible for committing a range of cybercrimes, including phishing and identity theft. The syndicate's members were arrested in multiple countries, highlighting the effectiveness of international collaboration in fighting cybercrime. Then we'll discuss. This story from the Daily Threat explores the concept of partial protection and how it can be ineffective in the face of cyber threats. It examines the risks of relying on a single layer of defense and how organizations can better protect themselves in the face of ever-evolving cyber attacks. Followed by North Korea's notorious hacker group, UNC 2970, has expanded its operations to countries around the world, targeting government, financial, and military organizations. Their activity has been marked by sophisticated malware and advanced intrusion techniques, making them a major cyber threat. And finally, we'll close out on a newly discovered Android banking Trojan dubbed Xenomorph is capable of stealing credentials and payment cards from infected devices. It has the ability to bypass two-step authentication, making it a dangerous threat to mobile banking and financial accounts. Xenomorph has already been detected in the wild and is actively targeting users in Europe.
In March of 2023, international law enforcement took a major step forward in the fight against cybercrime. Working with Interpol and various other global law enforcement agencies, a joint task force was established to combat the increasing threats posed by cybercriminals. The task force is comprised of representatives from more than 20 countries, all of whom are committed to sharing information, intelligence, and resources in order to identify and prosecute cybercriminals. The task force will focus on identifying and disrupting the activities of organized crime networks and their operations, as well as those of individuals who use the internet to commit crimes. This initiative is part of an ongoing effort to strengthen global cybersecurity and combat the rising threat of cybercrime. The task force will be responsible for investigating and prosecuting cybercrimes involving online fraud, identity theft, money laundering, and other forms of cybercrime. The task force is an important step forward in the fight against cybercrime, and it is hoped that it will be a successful collaboration between nations and law enforcement agencies in order to better protect people online. When partial protection equals zero. As security technology advances, it is becoming increasingly important for organizations to ensure that their systems are equipped with the latest security measures. Unfortunately, even with the best security measures in place, there are still risks associated with partial protection. This is especially true when the partial protection is zero. Partial protection is when a security system provides protection against some threats, but not all. It can be an effective way to reduce risk, but it does not guarantee complete protection. When partial protection is zero, there is no protection whatsoever. This means that organizations are vulnerable to all possible threats. The key to avoiding this situation is to make sure that all security measures are up to date. This means regularly updating software and hardware, making sure that all security systems are correctly configured, and regularly testing the system to ensure that it is functioning correctly. It also means that organizations should be aware of the latest threats and take appropriate steps to protect themselves. In addition, organizations should also consider investing in technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning, which can help detect and prevent threats that traditional security systems may miss. While these technologies can be expensive, they can also provide organizations with an additional layer of protection that can make all the difference when partial protection is zero. By taking the appropriate steps, organizations can ensure that their systems are as secure as possible. This will help to protect their data, systems, and networks from malicious actors, and ensure that their systems are as secure as possible, even when partial protection is zero. In March of 2023, the North Korean hacker group, UNC 2970, has been expanding its operations. The group, which is believed to be associated with the North Korean government, is known for its cyber espionage activities, targeting government and military organizations in South Korea and Japan. Recently, the group has been observed to be increasing its attacks, as well as broadening its target list to include financial institutions, educational institutions, and other private sector organizations. The group is now also targeting organizations based in the United States and Europe. The attacks involve sending malicious emails containing links to malicious websites or malicious attachments. Once the user clicks on the link or opens the attachment, the malware is then installed on the computer, allowing the attackers to gain access to the system and steal sensitive data. The attacks have been increasing in sophistication and frequency, leading some to believe that the North Korean government is actively supporting the group. The North Korean government has not yet commented on the matter. Given the increased level of activity, security experts are advising organizations to take steps to secure their systems, such as patching vulnerabilities, regularly updating antivirus software, and training employees to recognize and avoid malicious emails. In March of 2023, a new strain of Android banking Trojan, dubbed Xenomorph, was discovered by security researchers. The malicious code is capable of stealing financial data from a user's device, allowing attackers to gain access to their banking accounts. Researchers have found that Xenomorph uses several techniques to evade detection, including hiding its malicious code in encrypted files and using a system of proxy servers to mask its presence. It is also capable of stealing a user's credentials, including their login information, credit card numbers, and other financial data. Once the malicious code is installed on a device, it can silently harvest data from the user's banking apps, as well as other applications. It can then send this data to the attackers behind the attack, who can use it to gain access to the user's accounts. Xenomorph is a worrying example of the growing sophistication of Android banking Trojans. It demonstrates that attackers are able to bypass existing security measures and steal sensitive financial data from users. As such, it is important for users to ensure that their devices and applications are kept up to date with the latest security patches. In March of 2023, a malicious strain of Android banking Trojan, known as Xenomorph, was discovered by security researchers. This malicious code is highly advanced, utilizing several techniques to evade detection, such as hiding its code in encrypted files and using proxy servers to conceal its existence. Furthermore, Xenomorph can steal a user's credentials, including their login information, credit card numbers, and other financial data. Once the malicious code is installed on a user's device, it can silently extract data from their banking apps as well as other applications and relay this information to the attackers behind the attack. This gives the attackers the ability to gain access to the user's accounts and steal sensitive financial data. The discovery of Xenomorph is a concerning reminder of the increasing sophistication of Android banking Trojans. To protect against these threats, it is essential for users to ensure that their devices and applications are kept up to date with the latest security patches.
Today's episode of The Daily Threat has been brought to you by QIT Solutions, your first choice for all things technology.